Good morning, spiritual companions. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Continuing chapter 10, Sri Ramakrishna at Siampukur. Page 454, Friday, October 30th, 1885. About 10:30, M arrived at Dr. Sarkar's house. He went up to the second floor and sat in a chair on the porch adjacent to the drawing room. In front of Dr. Sarkar was a glass bowl in which goldfish were kept. Now and then Dr. Sarkar threw some cardamom shells into the bowl. Again he threw pellets of flour to the sparrows. M watched him. Doctor, smiling to M, you see, these goldfish are staring at me like devotees staring at God. They haven't noticed the food I have thrown into the water. Therefore, I say, what will you gain by mere bhakti? You need knowledge, too. Dr. Sarkar and M entered the drawing room. There were shelves all around filled with books. The doctor rested a little. M looked at the books. He picked up Canon Farrar's Life of Jesus and read a few pages. Dr. Sarkar told M how the first homeopathic hospital was started in the teeth of great opposition. He asked M to read the letters relating to it, which had been published in the Calcutta Journal of Medicine in 1876. Dr. Sarkar was much devoted to homeopathy. M picked up another book, Munger's New Theology. Dr. Sarkar noticed it. Doctor, Munger has based his conclusions on nice argument and reasoning. It is not like you are believing a thing simply because a Chaitanya or a Buddha or a Jesus Christ has said so. M, smiling, yes, we should not believe Chaitanya or Buddha, but we must believe Munger. Doctor, whatever you say. M, we must quote someone as our authority, so it is Munger. The doctor smiles. Dr. Sarkar got into his carriage, accompanied by M. The carriage proceeded toward Siampukur. It was midday. They gossiped together. The conversation turned to Dr. Badhuri, who had also been visiting the master now and then. M, smiling, Badhuri said about you that you must begin all over again from the stone and brickbat. Dr. Sarkar, how is that? M, because you don't believe in the Mahatmas, astral bodies, and so forth. Perhaps Badhuri is a theosophist. Further, you don't believe in the incarnation of God. That is why he said sarcastically that when you died this time, you would certainly not be reborn as a human being. That would be far off. You wouldn't be born even as an animal or a bird, or even as a tree or a plant. You would have to begin all over again from stone and brickbat. Then, after many, many births, you might assume a human body. Dr. Sarkar, goodness gracious. M, Badhuri further said that the knowledge of your physical science was a false knowledge and had only temporary value. He gave an analogy. Suppose there are two wells. The one gets its water from an underground spring. The other has no such spring and is filled with rainwater. But the water of the second well does not last a long time. The knowledge of your science is like the rainwater. It dries up. Dr. Sarkar, with a smile, I see. The carriage arrived at Cornwallis Street. Dr. Sarkar picked up Dr. Pratap Mazumdar. Pratap had visited Sri Ramakrishna the previous day. They soon arrived at Siampukur. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room on the second floor with several devotees. Pratap was Dr. Badhuri's son-in-law. Sri Ramakrishna was speaking to him in praise of his father-in-law. Master, to Pratap, Ah, what a grand person he has become. He contemplates God and observes purity in his conduct. Further, he accepts both aspects of God, personal and impersonal. To Dr. Sakar, do you know what Dr. Badhuri said about you? He said that because you didn't believe these things, in the next cycle you would have to begin your earthly life from a stone or brickbat. All laugh. Dr. Sakar, smiling. Suppose I begin from a stone or brickbat, and after many births obtain a human body. But as soon as I come back to this place, I shall have to begin over again from a stone or brickbat. The doctor and all laugh. The conversation turned to the master's ecstasy in spite of his illness. Pratap, yesterday I saw your ecstatic mood. Master, it happened of itself, but it was not intense. Dr. Sakar, ecstasy and talking are not good for you now. Master, to Dr. Sakar, I saw you yesterday in my samadhi. I found that you are a mine of knowledge, but it is all dry knowledge. You have not tasted divine bliss. To Pratap, referring to Dr. Sakar, if he ever tastes divine bliss, he will see everything, above and below, filled with it. Then he will not say that whatever he says is right, and what others say is wrong. Then he will not utter sharp, strong, pointed words. The devotees remain silent. Suddenly Sri Ramakrishna went into a spiritual mood and said to Dr. Sakar, Mahindra Babu, what is this madness of yours about money? Why such attachment to wife? Why such longing for name and fame? Give up all these now and direct your mind to God with whole-souled devotion. Enjoy the bliss of God. Dr. Sakar sat without uttering a word. The devotees also remained silent. Master, Nangta used to tell me how a jnani meditates. Everywhere is water. All the regions above and below are filled with water. Man, like a fish, is swimming joyously in that water. In real meditation, you will actually see all this. Do you know another way a jnani meditates? Think of infinite akasa and a bird flying there, joyfully spreading its wings. There is the Chidakasa, and Atman is the bird. The bird is not imprisoned in a cage. It flies in the Chidakasa. Its joy is limitless. The devotees listened with great attention to these words about meditation. After a time, Pratap resumed that conversation. Pratap, to Dr. Sakar, when one thinks seriously, one undoubtedly sees everything as a mere shadow. Dr. Sakar, if you speak of a shadow, then you need three things: the sun, the object, and the shadow. How can there be any shadow without an object? And you say that God is real and the creation unreal? I say that the creation is real too. Pratap, very well. As you see a reflection in a mirror, so you see this universe in the mirror of your mind. Dr. Sakar, but how can there be a reflection without an object? Narendra, why, God is the object. Dr. Sakar remained silent. Master, to Dr. Sakar, you said a very fine thing. No one has said before that samadhi is the result of the union of the mind with God. You alone have said that. Shivanath said that one lost one's head by too much thinking of God. In other words, one becomes unconscious by meditating on the universal consciousness. Think of it. becoming unconscious by contemplating him who is of the very nature of consciousness, and whose consciousness endows the world with consciousness. And what does your science say? This combined with this produces that. That combined with that produces this. One is more likely to lose consciousness by contemplating those things, by handling material things too much. Dr. Sakar, one can see God in those things. M. If so, one sees God more clearly in man, and still better in a great soul. In a great soul, there is a greater manifestation of God. Dr. Sakar, yes, in man, no doubt. Master, just fancy, to lose consciousness by contemplating God, through whose consciousness even inert matter appears to be conscious, and hands, feet, and body move. People say that the body moves of itself, but they do not know that it is God who moves it. They say that water scalds the hand, but water can by no means scald the hand. It is the heat in the water, the fire in the water that scalds. Man says that the sense organs do their work of themselves, but he does not know that inside dwells he whose very nature is consciousness. Dr. Sakar stood up. He was about to take his leave. Sri Ramakrishna also stood up. Dr. Sakar, people call on God when they are faced with a crisis. Is it for the mere fun of it that they say, O Lord, thou? You speak of God because of that trouble in your throat. Master, there is nothing for me to say. Dr. Sarkar, why not? We lie in the lap of God. We feel free with him. To whom should we speak about our illness, if not to him? Master, right you are. Once in a while I try to speak to him about it, but I do not succeed. Dr. Sarkar left. M. sat near Sri Ramakrishna and repeated the conversation he had had at Dr. Sarkar's house. M. He said, must I believe a thing simply because a Chaitanya or a Buddha or a Christ has said it? That would not be proper. Master, he has been thinking of this, meaning himself. His faith is growing. Is it possible to get rid of egotism altogether? Such scholarship, such fame, and he has so much money, but he doesn't show disrespect for what I say. End of that day, end of today's reading.